U.S. intelligence agency, mind control.
Show you this for a while because like you're a more gamer than me, and I think this is really dumb. I looked at this and I said, wow, this guy, he is dumb, because it's like he's gonna blame the reason why bad games are is because one person came in and said, hey, make a black character. That's why the game's bad. You think that's why that's where it went wrong. Okay.
That's definitely where it went wrong.
Can you shrink the boobs a cup size? Oh, suddenly the game is bad. Suddenly the budget crashes, work crunch goes over. It becomes a live service game. It's because it's woke, right? That's that type of take.
Love it. Can't wait.
A lot recently, and there has been a shift in the mindset of the people. Forspoken last year came out, and it was a tremendous failure. It was such a failure that Square Enix shut down the entire studio.
Crazy. It's almost like games suck.
Yeah.
And they continually to make shitty games, and studios go under. Because it's in a fucking this is capitalism. It is not.
Well, okay. To be fair, Square Enix, this is an interesting case because you don't really see Square Enix producing average games. Square Enix games are kind of at a higher level. They don't really have shit games, and you don't really see them shutting down subsidiary studios. However, this is a big deal because they did shut down a subsidiary studio. This is the norm for places like EA and Activision, who constantly buy up indie studios.
Oh, EA is the worst, though.
Push them to make games that they have to produce on small teams in very fast times, producing shit games, and then they can the studio that they just bought. They literally buy them, set them up to fail, then fucking can the whole thing. Fuck these companies. Fuck them to death. They should be broken. They should be the first ones broken up with antitrust to give these indie companies a chance to actually make games again. Fuck these companies. Fuck EA. Fuck Activision. They can die in a hole. Fuck them to death. All right, I'm done.
So also, okay. So I want to be clear. A subsidiary of Square Enix is not the same as Square Enix developing something.
No.
So to say like, oh, Square Enix made this. No, a subsidiary of Square Enix made this. That means this is basically a company that they gobbled up, crunched them to death, and that's why the game is bad.
Yeah. So it doesn't really happen with Square Enix, so it's kind of interesting.
It's a subsidiary, though. It's not them.
No, I know. I'm saying that it's interesting that they've bought this company, whatever company it was.
It was another Japanese company.
Yeah. And then have done what EA and Activision have done forever. So it's just interesting because Square Enix doesn't really do that.
They own Eidos Interactive, Crystal Dynamics, Taitos, that one studio that just closed down, Square Enix Image Studio Division, Square Enix Collective, Square Enix Europe, Beautiful Games Studios, Smile Lab Co. That's just the ones that show up at the top.
Yeah.
So they have subsidiaries. I don't know.
But not many.
My question is do they actually put their logo in the game?
I think they put it on the cover and on the launch titles. Because they'd be a producer credit
for them.
Hey, what's up, guys? We're up here. So over the past couple of years, there's been an increasing level of complaints about fan service in video games. These complaints not coming from gamers, rather they're coming from a loud minority of people from social media platforms like Twitter. Now, unfortunately, a lot of game developers, including those from Japan, have been listening more and more to the Twitter users than the actual gamers interested in their products. And
that's what happens is you listen to people that don't buy your products. This is what people do. This is what streamers do too. Is that like, how many guys do you know that just streamers in general, like they listen to people on Twitter and
because people are asking for more live service games, guys.
Yeah, that's exactly what
that guy is a fascist and a pedo. You don't say it. I couldn't tell by the fact that he's fucking literally somebody who uses a fucking lolly-esque vampire baby as his fucking VTuber. No shit. Of course.
They decide what they're going to do with their stream
You see
based
something
off
and
of
you're
like a
"That's
very
pedophile,"
small
you know right
subset of
away.
people, and they end up hurting their
They
stream
all
because
love
of
it.
it. I've
all
seen this
those
happen a
Tetris
lot.
pedophiles, they all love Lolly.
Is reflected in their sales because as they've injected more woke nonsense into their games, their sales have gone down. However, this conversation has been re-explored once again with the recent talk about Stellar Blade. We talked about this on the channel.
Yet again, this is a standalone complex. They're two unrelated things that you're connecting through imagined connections that are not there. Touch grass. Go outside. Go talk to someone. Fucking hell.
Bro, honestly, he's a fascist pedophile. We should keep him inside, if anything.
You're right. Grass are in parks. You don't want that.
They just made a new Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball, guys. They made that last year with all those woke games. I think it might have been a remake.
But as more trailers and previews have come out for this game that's coming out in a very short while, we've seen gamers get what they've been asking for, and that is conventionally attractive characters with fan service. That is something a lot of games.
Whoa, crazy! You mean Tifa or Tifa from Final Fantasy, the like most known Square Enix fucking fetish character who they all want to fuck, is going to have fan service in a Final Fantasy game? Wow, they're finally listening to the men who play their games now.
Gamers enjoy, and people have been praising Stellar.
Well, it's not really as
hot take. Aerith is better.
What?
Aerith is a better character.
Oh yeah, but
a better character.
Tifa or Tifa is the famous one for being
I know.
the sexy one.
I know.
She's the one. She's the one that's drawn in all the porn.
She's in short shorts and a tank top.
Yeah, and she's got titties. And the tank top goes out, and it's like it's under boob. You know,
it is a lot of titty.
Look, they're like, wow, with this new great game where the girl has no titties, it just shows they're listening to us because they put titties in another game, even though this game doesn't have titties.
Secret that people like looking at hot girls. I mean, even other girls like looking at hot girls.
True.
Like it's really not a surprise. Like I don't know why. It's kind of a shock to me that it's taken this long for people to wake up and realize it.
True.
Because this has been going on for years now. Point. It's so annoying.
And their developers for delivering justice.
Wow, they've been taking the boobs out of our games for years.
It's an outrage.
This is the same game studio that made Nier Automata. Are you serious, bro? Are you like, do you have actual brain damage? The fetish thong robot game where she basically is like and the thong is like the same color as her. Let me tell you,
hilarious.
I've seen some hung lady boys cosplay Nier Automata, and it is hot. They're like actual like cross like dressers, you know, like they're
yeah. Like the tactical
Destiny.
guy.
Destiny.
Yeah.
He's the best.
It's so good. It's so funny how many milsim chuds are in there. Like, oh, this is fucking great. Not realizing it's a dude. And as soon as they find out, they lose their mind.
Have had a similar experience to me, but my Twitter timeline over the past couple of days has been nothing.
That's weird.
But Tifa from Final Fantasy.
That's weird.
I wonder why.
So basically, all it took was a spoiler of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
She got the big booba.
Is in a swimsuit to basically lead us what feels like a new renaissance in gaming. That's all it took. Nice. People are going absolutely.
My friend, he likes the penis. Like a worker was like harassing him and shaking him down. And he goes, "No, thanks, I'm gay." And they go, "I am dick, I am dick."
Why are you gay?
Rabid for this Tifa design here. All it took was the swimsuit.
I actually don't think that it's really.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about this? You know what's really, really, really funny about this? the first game that got me into Final Fantasy type games was Final Fantasy VII's remake.
Does she have big tits
massive,
in that game? Massive tits? Whoa, crazy.
Gigantic.
Big old boobas in a Square Enix game.
2016. So
oh my god, it's almost like the studio that you're complaining about that made the bad game wasn't Square Enix. Because all their games have the big booba.
I think that a lot of people,
except for Tomb Raider, because they own that now,
are tired of. It's kind of like what I said before about how I think people, like the people that make media, have lost the trust of the audience, and so the audience no longer looks at media and just consumes it. They always look at it with a sense of distrust or distaste, and I think that's what happens a lot.
I'll play a little clip of it. I don't even know if it's translated. It doesn't matter. You'll get the point.
This is how I enjoy movies that are even really bad, because I go in and forget that politics exists because that's what you're meant to do. This is how I enjoy terrible, terrible, terrible content. Fun fact. It's really not that hard. Titties.
You want to see something crazy, right?
Mm-hmm. Titties.
This is like the hottest series coming out of Japan right now. This game, the game that did this.
The Yakuza. What is happening?
This is gonna get us funny.
The titty bounce. Soundbite time.
Yeah.
And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House! Ah!
Why are you gay?
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered.
This is a mini game.
A mini game.
Yes.
Hilarious.
You must have
known you were wrong when your fingers were dipped inside me, searching for honey that would not come for you.
Anyway, let's learn about. Oh, look, she has small tits, Jack. Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, no! They both don't have big booba.
Believe me when I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating. The combination of Tifa in a swimsuit has consumed Twitter over the past.
Oh yeah, why?
All everyone's talking about. It's all over everyone's.
What
timelines.
A mystery!
And it's really not that surprising. The formula is simple, ladies and gentlemen. All you have to do is take Tifa, a character everyone likes, and
you just have to do the things that normal people like. So basically, if you see a thread on Twitter that's really popular from a person who has mental disorders in their profile, their bio, do the opposite of what that tweet is complaining about. Just do the exact opposite of that, and you will be successful with normal people.
And add anime titties.
It's that simple.
Boom. Success. The formula is so simple, and it was working for so many years until recently, where now game developers are shying away from these things because they want to appease people on Twitter, for example. And it's very strange.
No, they don't.
Back to the very simple
Doesn't happen.
And a lot of people have looked at this situation and said,
I cried.
Do you like Kay?
Or are you? I'm going
this is a
Go ahead,
mini
use
game.
the mouse.
100%. Wow.
We're only
Of
friends here.
course.
This is a hostess club. See? It's a hostess club.
Good to see you.
So, what would you like to buy her?
I'm going to go Red Bull cocktail because
The graphics are great.
long enough for
It's a real person.
Wait, is it actually?
Yes.
Long enough to what?
What the fuck?
that I need to talk to a woman.
It's like a casino
Right off the
host
bat,
on
it's
an automated casino game. It's funny.
Look, you buy her, you keep going, you spend all your money, you go back to her 100 times, and then she comes home with you. And then the screen turns black.
I gotta hook up with this guy. I gotta grow on
Because
them.
they see your weak
Sounds
chin.
like a
I
great
get that.
game.
They've got to see my.
Bro, Yakuza is let me remind you again. This is just a mini game. All right. The new one, it's like a turn-based RPG. You literally to get like the best experience, you go to like the fucking like tourism place and you like book like
Yeah.
safaris and stuff. And you like go on vacation to get like ability points and stuff.
That's hilarious.
And like you can get like a lobster on your team that you can summon. And like there's just a bunch of like zany characters you can get on the team and stuff.
Razor like wit.
That's not a Red Bull cocktail.
But like the other Yakuza games, it's like a Grand Theft Auto type game.
Oh, what dedication! Make me want to tempt you even more. How did you know?
I told you.
All right, go ahead.
Hottest game series out of Japan, by the way. Games are totally games are just not the woke stole our boobies from us. Back to Cringe Charlie and wokeness.
Incorporated. This is in my opinion, I think that water. I know, yeah. Well, I've said before, right? If I'm ever drinking water, I'm down bad. I got maybe 2 hours of sleep. Okay. So yes. Anyway, let's get back over to this. Sweet Baby employee. So Sweet Baby Incorporated. This is the. Let me see if I can I find this to the Twitter page here? Yeah. Let me see if I can find it. So working at Sweet Baby Incorporated. This is basically, in my opinion, and this might be a very unpopular opinion, but I feel like this company is being used as a boogeyman, and people view this company. It's kind of like the World Economic Forum on a smaller scale. Where like I don't think the World Economic Forum is actually the Illuminati in plain sight, and they're actually trying to like kill everybody and do all these things. They're kind of like a representation that people can see, and because people see this example of it, then they latch onto it, and they're like, these are the core people that are causing all of our problems. I totally understand the problem that people have with this, but I don't think that these people are the only symptom of that. Now, obviously, I disagree with like what their kind of like their goals are. I disagree with these because I find them to be antithetical to the nature of what art is. But of course, obviously, art is decided by the artist. I think the issue is whenever people feel like they have to do this instead. So anyway, yes, these are an easy target, and these are people that are working at the company. And basically, this happened, I think, 2 days ago. I didn't cover it then because I just didn't really think it was
I don't give a fuck because Twitter's not a real place.
It's definitely worth talking about. What ended up happening is that there is a Steam group, and there is a person looking for any game that used Sweet Baby Incorporated as a consultancy, and they wanted to put that in like some sort of review, so anybody who goes into playing this game knows that basically the people that made this game like consulted this like inclusion agency to try to tone down any sort of things that could be issues. It's basically like a like on cigarettes where it says like this will give you lung cancer.
No,
it's like it's a warning label. It's really simple. And obviously, big surprise, the employees that work at that company are not happy about that. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to look and get somebody who get all of their followers to come together and basically like come together and like sorry, I got 2 hours of sleep, so it's a bit hard for me. Come together and mass report and ban the people that are running this different page to silence the people that are trying to hold them. Like, and I don't even understand the logic in this either. It's like if people disagree with what you're doing, like, isn't that their right to disagree with it? I mean, if people think,
bro, it literally says harassment group. They're saying these people are harassing us. Can you not harass us?
I don't want to play this game because I feel like it doesn't have an authentic
maybe if it
sense
was
of
actually
art
what you were saying and they were just curating like, hey, this is a list with these specific tags, but that's not what's happening. And if you actually believe that's what's happening, you can't blame that on
decided
2 hours
by
of sleep,
people
bro.
that aren't even making the content. Yeah, I think so. I think that's pretty reasonable. And it's also like not that they're calling for harassment or anything else, but let's read the post. And this is a post written by an employee of Sweet Baby. This team curated harassment group, Sweet Baby Incorporated, detected. And so that's where it is led by this person, Krampus Rambo. Here's them trying to be slick so they don't get reported. Name. Even with the discriminatory language filed off, the group itself still fails the code of conduct.
So it fails the code of conduct. Well, let's go ahead and let's read what is cited here and see if it actually.
Oh, they're just
okay, this person
protected 'cause
clearly
they're
made their
in the
their
middle
tweets
of a
private
harassment
because people
campaign
disagreed with
against
them.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what happens. This is really what the problem is here. Is that you know, these people have no problem privating their own narrative. They have no problem privating their own Twitter.
They're being
whenever,
harassed.
they're receiving
Mhm.
negative feedback or they're getting criticized or whatever.
No,
and whenever people aren't okay.
This is negative feedback. What I'm doing. I'm not harassing you.
With their narrative. But whenever other people aren't okay, whenever people disagree with their narrative, they immediately put themselves on protected mode and they exercise discretion in what they want to see. But they don't offer that same ability for other people if they want to do that through.
You see, like one of the games that they called them in on was Spider-Man 2, where you play a black character. So they called in a consulting company. Oh, crazy. Would you believe it? Like Assassin's Creed, they have a multinational consulting company develop with those games. Why do you think they do that?
Insane. That would never happen.
Steam page. You understand how this is effectively the same thing. Like, is you're allowing people to censor content. And I am a big advocate of self-censorship.
Not only that, Assassin's Creed literally boots up and says, hey, we're a multicultural team here. We passed it through multiple people.
I'm a big advocate of it. I think that if you don't want to see something, you shouldn't have to see it. So I think that it's very problematic that this.
Okay, well, that's enough of you, dipshit. Let's look at this video.
It'll be funny if you end up mostly agreeing with this one. That could end up happening. Totally. Totally end up happening. Look at the like to dislike ratio, man. People really did bomb these. Okay. It's too loud? Really?
Oh no, feminist frequency. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Your butt is probably not going to give you that information. It won't tell you much about who they are or what they're thinking.
Anita
or feeling
Sarkeesian,
at any
my
given
nightmare.
Okay, right off the bat, I disagree with the implication of this statement. Sexuality, fashion, presentation are all pretty big parts of character design and the way you project your intentions and personality to the audience. Like, obviously, literally, moment to moment, a butt isn't communicating thoughts and feelings with you, unless it's like some pretty special magic, I guess. But the right off the bat, the implication by this seems to be that like the butt is like an unimportant element of one's character design, which I strongly disagree with.
Man,
I don't think
pause
that's
it. Pause,
In these early Tomb Raider games, Lara's butt is typically right.
No. Shut up, Anita. Shut the fuck up. The walk cycles are very important. It is the biggest thing that you do in the game is walking and running. It's very important. And if there's no swing, there's no love. Fuck you.
How come The Sims makes me have sex with women in it for the goals? Are we sexualizing The Sims?
In the center of the screen. A camera orientation which, along with the sexualized clothing the designers choose to outfit her in, places
That's a block.
tremendous
Oh my
amount
God.
of emphasis on that.
They're
part of the
short
body.
shorts.
I think this is an insane thing to say. It's a third person like platformer. What would the difference be between the camera focusing on her butt and on her like shoulders or something? Like the camera is where it is for a pretty good reason. I've played these games. There's traps
negativity, that's such a
everywhere,
good
and you need it
word.
to be like really far back.
Yeah,
I
I
guess
get
you could
that.
argue maybe it could be like 1 foot up. I don't know. Now they definitely emphasized it. I guess having played these games, I don't know where else they'd put the camera on this. The cam is too low. I always felt like they needed to do that so you can see the ground around her, because this game is very this game focuses heavily on like trap placement and like
maybe if they focused on that trap placement just for an excuse to put her butt in the frame.
stuff around your feet
They
that
could
you
have
have
made
to
her
jump in a
butt
specific
bigger,
way
and
to
the
avoid.
top-
Whatever.
the
It seems
camera
marginal
from
to me.
higher up would give you a better
ceremony.
angle.
The sisterhood will never forgive me.
Damn, Golden Axe. This game sure bombed. Nobody knows what this even is. We're
I
going to
have
talk
no
about
idea.
Beast Rider, Golden Axe Beast Rider, all 14 copies that were sold of this game. Guess what? This game was criticized for making for the too skimpy and too sexy. Like they were like, "Can you just make a game, please?" Not because of
That's
Anita.
funny.
Like this was all this game is a fucking tits. It's not. They didn't develop a game behind the tits.
Interesting.
If I am late.
Golden Axe Beast
Look at
Rider
her
makes
fucking. Did you see that run cycle?
Yeah.
That was in cinematic, bro.
Mhm.
Garbage game. And these games ruled on the Sega.
extremely definitely sure that we notice the protagonist's butt
Yes.
before we take.
So this is an example of what I would call like unjustified sexualization. This isn't like a character element. The way the camera pans across the character isn't an element of their personality or design. It's just ogling. That's why I have a lot more respect. If you have a sexualized character design but normal camera and panning, that seems much better to me, because then it's like, okay, it's a normal game. The character in the game just happens to dress like this, you know? Like, if she's some kind of like barbarian lady, right? Like Conan barely wears anything, but the camera doesn't pan across Conan's ass like this. So this is usually what I criticize. This is the stuff that I fucking hate. It's when the camera pans over, you know, when the game feels like it's being creepy.
And here in Tomb Raider Underworld, to say that Lara's butt is being emphasized.
Oh my god, you moving the camera!
In fairness, you're the one doing this with the camera. Like, this isn't a cutscene, like forced camera movement. You move the camera. I mean, it's a skimpy outfit, but I don't know. Girls dress like this sometimes. If you go to a beach, you will see women wearing like this panty line in their swimsuit, right? I know it's a ridiculous outfit, but she's supposed to be a character that dresses in skimpy outfits, right? That's not like an innately bad thing. Bayonetta!
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Let's contrast the
Again, like, this is what I mean with Anita Sarkeesian, man. They just show a fucking example, and she just shows a fucking example, and then.
So the thing with Bayonetta is like the whole thing is meant to be overly sexualized on purpose, isn't it? Like that it's that ridiculous. Like it's supposed to be that sort of ridiculous game. If I remember correctly, unless I'm wrong, which I could be wrong. It is ridiculous.
Dragon.
What the fuck is this?
Badass. Yeah. Golden Axe. Great game. Fucking, I told you, you can summon a fucking dragon, bro. New game, you can't even have a walk cycle.
Okay, like,
That's
Bayonetta showing ass is not.
That's not us.
So her design isn't just a character thing; it's a game thing. I don't know what game this is.
Does it have to be that?
I don't know what game this is.
Heavenly Sword, I think, right?
This is Lollipop Chainsaw, which is meant to be like an over-the-top, like, splatterfest. Okay, to be fair, I do think this game is very sexist. But I want the argument to be made. Isn't Lollipop Chainsaw popular with lesbians? Of course it would be. Because lesbians get to be creepy about women. They're allowed to.
Let's contrast the way that women's butts are emphasized with the sometimes absurd lengths taken to cover up or hide men's butts.
This is fair.
If some of this footage looks jerky,
I agree. Show more men ass.
Trying to get a glimpse of male characters' butts can feel a bit like wrestling with the camera. Common ways men's butts are hidden are by preventing.
Oh my god, you are literally against a wall. You disingenuous cunt. Oh my god. I fucking hate this person so much.
The most amusing solution is to simply include a cape, tunic.
Some of these aren't really valid. Wait, hold on. Wait, you're just throwing any fucking example out there. Hold on.
Which has the added.
Gears of War doesn't count.
Fuck! That's what I was pulling up. Gears of War. I was gonna pull up a big donk on Gears of War.
Gears of War is an over-the-shoulder game. An over-the-shoulder game. This doesn't count. Over-the-shoulder games aren't going to let you scroll the. That's not how the rotation of the camera would allow.
Yeah, but when you run, it's just donk bouncing. You know, they get all down and shit, and they bounce that donk.
There are
over-the-shoulder game would have like you hold down on the camera like movement stick, and the camera like pans down to the butt. You know.
Benefit of keeping the character's butt safely out of the
like this isn't not a butt being kept safely out of view. This is just an over-the-shoulder camera angle. That's what she's saying. Vosh, women are not in over-the-shoulder games. If there's a woman, it won't be over the shoulder.
What is that game?
Looks like Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Jedi Outcast, whatever. Jedi
Survivor.
Yeah. What is that game? Force Awakens.
That's a good point, but she's not saying that. You're being overly charitable. She's saying the camera doesn't let you, not that there's a difference in the chosen perspectives in male versus female characters. If she did say that, this would be a completely valid point. But hey, you know, she only got like $1 million fucking dollars.
Not only does it have man butt, like one of the bird aliens is specifically like one that like a lot of girls like in the game.
You know?
For the purposes of this video, I tried to get a glimpse.
This, okay, yeah, I will say though, shit like this is insane. The butt is a muscle. Like this is this is a decision being made by the modeling team. Like this is ridiculous. His entire body is rippling with muscle. His ass should be huge. It's ridiculous.
They
like
had
it's
to take this
genuinely
precaution
silly.
because of
This is
that
being
one
done
Batman
entirely
movie.
by insecure dudes for insecure dudes.
Tried to get a glimpse of Batman's rear end, but it's as if his cape is a high-tech piece of Wayne Industries equipment designed to cover up his butt at all costs.
Well, it also just isn't
I
there.
like to jokingly refer to this aspect of a male character's costume as the strategic butt covering. Of course, not all games.
It comes across as very reductive to me. Like Batman's had a cape for like 5 trillion years, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or is that really what we're like? Are we really making the argument that they gave a cape to Batman so they wouldn't show his butt? Like, I don't know. It just seems like we're literally just throwing this shit out, man. I mean, this fucking guy, what is it? The tech game, the Watch Dogs. Thank you. Like he's just
picking things out of a hat. Today, what are we going to be mad at? But
I don't know. This just feels like a weak example to me. So this is one of those things again where it's like she could be making a much better point. Why isn't she talking about how their butt should be bigger? I think that'd be much more interesting. Like she didn't even talk about Batman not being modeled with an ass. They just talked about the cape. Why not say like, hey, why are these professional 3D modelers designing these characters?
How come I don't get caked up, boys?
Ass.
Yeah. Fallout also, like the dude has in his vault suit looks nice and sexy.
Weird and doesn't exist in real life, you know?
There are a few.
That's a Solid Snake has always had a very emphasized butt in his game. This is an objectively emphasized butt. There's no getting around that. Is she going to pretend that it's not?
Two examples of male protagonists who are wearing clothing that calls attention to their
Okay, she is.
butts, but for the most part, men's butts, even when visible in the frame, are de-emphasized. Plenty of male heroes wear baggy pants or jeans. Uncharted's Nathan Drake among them.
Isn't his butt just as emphasized
Cheeked
here as
up.
in the Tomb Raider example we just
Cheeked
saw?
up.
Right? In the Tomb Raider example where I said women just look like that, I feel like this isn't that different. Like it's just slightly less. Yeah, but don't guys tend to wear looser clothing?
You think women just
I don't know. It
look
doesn't seem
like
that different to me.
objects, I
The
guess,
camera
Mom.
angle is also pretty low. I know that they're showing the devastation of the buildings up above. I just feel like a woman with this exact like design in this camera angle would be cited as an example of sexualization the other way around.
Nathan Drake among them. But nothing about his visual design or the jeans he's wearing encourages you to focus on his butt as some sort of defining aspect of his character.
Except for the cheeks.
Next to her, I'll admit.
Cheeks
Look at that.
By contrast, this emphasis on the butts of female characters communicates to players that
This emphasis on the butts.
this is what's important.
Hold on,
This is what
pause
you
it.
should be paying attention.
You know who thinks about this? Fucking nobody. Not a single goddamn
This
fucking person.
emphasis on the butts.
To. It communicates that the character is a sexual object designed for
Oh
players
my
to
God,
look at
shut
and
up.
enjoy.
It is a video game with character designs. That is true. That can be a way
They're
to
not
design
real.
characters. Yeah. I've always said, like, I remember way back earlier in my channel where I said I don't want less sexualized women in video games. I want more sexualized men. It's because sexualization, it just needs to be done in a way that's more even-handed and less exploitative, you know? But like Anita Sarkeesian's arguments aren't
Okay, that's Vosh is going on a tangent. All right, let's see what's going on here.
Are you aware of a CIA psychological profile about you, sir? Would you be interested in hearing what the CIA had to say? This secret study portrays as a brilliant but dangerous megalomaniac who is likely to pursue his own aims in disregard of U.S. interests. He's an uncertain ally. Shall I go on, or would you prefer that I stop, sir?